Hello, folks. Welcome back to the show. Okay, I'm really sorry. I'm going off topic again. I will talk about one or two fragrances that I really like today in the episode too. But okay, top 10 dating or relationship red flags. If she does this, run. Folks, don't forget before we do this, the Norton and Wilson sale is in its very, very final days. 30% off all our fragrances at nortonandwilson.com. Amazing results we've had on this sale. People really loving this. And you'll probably never get these fragrances this affordably. Don't miss out. Last couple of days on the sale. Top 10 dating or relationship red flags. Actually, if any of the, or if two or three or more of these things happen to you, I think it could be time for you to walk away. We know a song about that, don't we? Forgive me, guys. This is all my own work, actually. No backing tracks. The guitar and the vocals is me. Thank you, Craig David.
I'm walking away from all the troubles in my life. I'm walking away, oh, to find a better day. I'm walking away from all the troubles in my life. I'm walking away, oh, to find a better day. I'm walking away. Some people sometimes get me wrong when it's something I've said or done. Sometimes you feel there is no fun. That's when you turn and run. But now I finally realize some people don't want to compromise. When I saw them with my own eyes, spreading those lies. And well, I don't want to live a lie. Too many sleepless nights, not mentioning the fight. I'm sorry to say, lady, I'm walking away from all the troubles in my life. I'm walking away, oh, to find a better day. I'm walking away from the troubles in my life. I'm walking away, oh, to find a better day. I'm walking away.
Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, this is probably a bad idea. I don't know what you let me know if you like me doing a video about dating and or relationship red flags. Who better than me to advise you on this stuff? Okay, let's get into them. So, of course, when one enters the world of dating or romance or relationships, there are many things that can go wrong. We can all get our hearts broken. We can get scammed. We can all kinds of things can happen. All kinds of sticky situations can occur, and we'd like to try and avoid those. And you know, the people in life who don't get stuck in really bad, unhealthy relationships or dating situations or situationships, it's not that they don't ever meet dodgy people. It's not that they are just totally lucky all the time. It's that they quickly end or get out of situations where red flags present themselves, and that's the skill we all need to learn. Okay, here's some red flags you need to be aware of. Could be from a man or a woman. I think most of these work both ways round. Whatever. Right, here we go. And I'll do a fragrance thing at the end. Number one, love bombing. What is love bombing? Okay, so love bombing is when someone is overly enthusiastic and loving and makes you think that they think you're the most fantastic person in the world and is maybe showering you with gifts or flowers or, you know, saying ridiculously affectionate things in messages kind of too soon in a relationship, and this can be very dangerous. Okay, so of course this can be very enticing because when you are looking to meet someone nice, then the fact that they say you're fantastic or you're the most handsome person or wonderful man they've ever met in the first 2 or 3 dates can feel really flattering and good. But the problem is, if it doesn't feel natural or organic, that they can possibly really have found that out or come to that conclusion because they really don't know you well enough yet, then that's, this is a bad sign, okay? It's a bad sign that it's probably fake, okay? They do this probably to a lot of other people, and the flame that burns too brightly can never last. So love bombing is actually kind of a red flag. It can very often suddenly turn around to somebody who then is really horrible to you later on. So a balanced person is a little bit more measured in how much they have affection and enthusiasm they show and at what point in the dating process. So beware if someone seems overly complimentary, affectionate, etc. to you too early in a relationship situation. Watch out for that, guys. Number 2, classic one, very common, controlling behavior. Okay, this can be apparent in early dates, and sometimes it has to be very small signs that you look for. Then, of course, as you go into a relationship, it's really bad. So controlling behavior can be many different things. Once upon a time, this is years ago, but anything I'm talking about here does not relate to anything that's happened recently to me. And, we could be talking about things, if I reference anything, it could be someone 20 years ago, but it's stuck in my mind, okay? God knows I've driven through a few red flags and ignored them and paid the price. They always bite you in the arse. Okay, so controlling behaviour. Once, this is years ago, I was in the car driving and someone I'd only met recently was with me as a passenger and someone cut me up and they reached across and beeped my horn. That just shows no respect for my bound. I turned and said F off to them and they were very offended. And then I was the bad guy, but that was a fair reaction. So it shows that they are kind of disrespecting your boundaries and think that they are entitled to just do things that are inappropriate, basically. And that's a very small kind of trivial thing maybe, but then later on they were controlling in all kinds of other weird and not so wonderful ways. So you've got to really watch out for controlling behaviour. Anything where, so if you're a woman and maybe the man is, always criticising the clothes that you go out in or saying you're not going out like that, you need to put more clothes on than that, they don't like, they're jealous and all that kind of thing. Jealousy, controlling behaviour, having a problem when you go out with your friends, whether you're a man or a woman. So say you've got friends of the same sex that you normally go out with quite often and they start making you feel bad about it. Really bad sign, red flag, get out, run. Or if they distance you from friends and family and give you the impression that they don't like your friends and family, and maybe make you feel guilty when you go and see your family and stuff. Very dodgy, bad sign, and it happens a lot. Okay, kind of linked to that. Number 3, if your friends and or family, close friends and people and family don't like this person or giving you the feedback that they don't like the sound of this relationship, maybe they may not even have met them if you're in the early dating stage, but if the feedback you're giving to your, if you've got friends that you fire stuff off against, we all say, oh, I'm dating this girl, this happened, what do you think? Or my girlfriend or even my wife has done this. What do you think? If they are telling you, no, that's wrong, you shouldn't be putting up with that, and you're maybe making excuses for your partner or relationship dating person, that's a real red flag, because your friends and people who, as long as they're good friends and people you trust and who have reasonable judgment, then, and if not, get some new friends, you need to listen to these people, because you could be blinded by the, when you're in the midst of love and all that, you make really bad judgments. But if objective people that have got your back don't like your partner or the person you're dating, or don't like the stories you're telling them about what's happened with this situation, massive red flag. Okay, number 4, an effed up life. If someone's got a generally chaotic and effed up life, I'm lucky I don't. It might be a shit life that I have, but it's pretty simple. So if someone has very big dramas going on, a very common thing would be ex drama, maybe the daddy of the kids or something, or an ex that has a restraining order against them. This is not a good sign. You don't want to get involved in that, okay? Relationships will tend to come down to the lowest common denominator of whoever's life is more screwed up. So you might think, well, I've got my act together and this person's life is a bit of a mess, but, I can influence them and tidy their life up. It doesn't happen. Your life will just become more chaotic, more stressful. And, so people with massive issues with the ex, like the ex hates them or is still stalking them or has, still in their life because of kids, but that, they don't speak or something, this kind of thing. I'm not, okay, maybe if everything else is about this person is wonderful. I'm not saying any one of these flags means don't date them, but that is not a good thing, and be very, very, very aware of that. Really it would be easier to meet someone who doesn't have those problems. Okay, next thing. If someone falls into bed with you too easily, too soon, that is not generally a good sign. Now, I'm not saying, we've all done this probably at some point in our life. Hopefully, maybe I got all these red flags too. But I would say, generally speaking, if you're actually looking to meet someone that you would like to maybe have a nice relationship, up to a point. I mean, if it's like 20 dates and you never sleep with them, then they might be a bit frigid. But, up to a point, the longer it takes to get to that point, sort of the better, okay? It shows a good thing. If they're jumping into bed with you on the first or second date, how many other people have they been doing that with? It's not a good feeling, and it doesn't really speak very well of them, I'm afraid. And, I'm not saying I'm guiltless on this, and I've never done stupid things in my younger days either, but it ain't a good sign, all right? Number whatever, 1, 4, 5. Number 6, low self-esteem. So a lot of people have not very good self-esteem, and actually you can think, well, that's it's kind of endearing. I'm a bit self-deprecating, not self-defecating, that would be terrible, but not self-deprecating, and I jokes about myself. I'd make those kind of jokes, and you don't want a narcissist who never jokes about themselves or can't be criticised or put down in any way. But if someone has really low self-esteem, like they might have a difficulty accepting a compliment, or they say really bad things about themselves. Sometimes you can think, oh, well, I can help this person. I'll make sure they realise that they're great. Unfortunately, it doesn't really normally work that way. So hurt people, as they say. So people who've been damaged and are hurt and don't like themselves very much. If you don't like yourselves, if you don't love yourself, how are you going to love anybody else? If they think they're shit, if they think they're not worthy of someone good, and they notice that you really like them and care about them, they'll probably, instead of thinking, oh, I am worthy, they'll think, well, this person must be shit, or this person must not be that good because they like me. It's like they wouldn't want to be a part of a club, any club that would have someone like them as a member. So low self-esteem can be very tempting to think, well, great, they'll be really grateful and happy that I'm nice to them. Normally it doesn't work that way. They will maybe hurt you, so be careful. Next up, if it's all about them, if someone on a date or if you've been seeing wise, always talking about them, doesn't really listen to you, doesn't seem interested, or it only shows passing token interest in your life, and always blathers on about what a busy day they've had and how hectic it is, and how this happened at work and blah 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 blah, and doesn't really seem that interested in you. Obvious, but yeah, massive red flag. But sometimes you can hear that and think, oh wow, this person's so interesting, what a great life they've had, I'll just let them lead all the time. But a normal, nice, healthy, well-balanced person you want to be with is probably roughly equally interested in hearing about you as telling you about their day and their problems. So watch out for people who are very self-absorbed. They're quite boring people normally, actually. Poor communication is the next one, okay? So people who don't really communicate very clearly or well, that's usually a bad sign. It either means they're just not that into you, if they're not answering texts and stuff. You might think, oh yeah, maybe they're just busy, Maybe it just, they just didn't look at their phone for the last 15 hours. Most people have their phones near them a lot. So if it's taking ages and there's just a general feeling that they're not responding quickly, that's not good. If they're cancelling things often with kind of dodgy excuses, or they just don't seem that invested, that's poor. Or if they are just generally not communicating in a way where you feel comfortable that you kind of know where things are going and it feels healthy, usually is a very bad sign. Okay, we've got number 9, drugs. Anyone who takes any kind of drugs. Now, I do like a drink, so you might say, well, that's just as bad. But unless you're really into drugs, in which case, stop doing that. It's probably bad for you. But anyone who does any kind of recreational drugs on any kind of regular basis, or just ever for me, I regard them as a fuck up, and they nearly always are. So maybe it's just my prejudice, but I don't mess with anyone who does drugs. Number 10, if something just feels off, if your gut feeling just says something ain't right here, there's something they're not telling me, or if you don't feel you can trust them for some reason, or you feel like there's something going on here, this is more in the early stages maybe, or no, it could be actually someone that you're with for ages, something's off. I don't feel comfortable. Something just feels iffy. You need to, at the very least, confront this and ask the person about it. That's a big red flag. One great fragrance for you guys that you could wear in a good or bad relationship, with red flags or not. Tom Ford's Beau de Jour is a fantastic aromatic fougere that I have underrated. I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to sort of mention this enough in videos. It's really, really good. Okay, final one, controversial one. I'll do number 11. What do you think about this? If someone never, ever pays or offers to pay for anything in the dating type situation. Now, I'm not saying, I'm not tight, and if I go out with someone, I will try and always pay for the dinner and stuff. But some women are strong and independent, and they insist after a few dates to start paying sometimes. I can respect that if they want to do that. It's up to them. And also equally, I don't mind. I'm quite lucky. I don't have kids and stuff, and my life's a bit easy. So maybe I have a bit more spare cash than somebody that I might date. So I don't mind if they're saying like, oh, you know what, I haven't got much money this weekend. Maybe we should just stay in. And then I might say, well, you know what, I get it, but it's fine. I don't worry, I'll pay. So I'm not saying that's okay. It doesn't have to be that we split things 50-50. No, I'm a generous person. However, just I have in the past dated people where there was kind of just no attempt ever to pay for anything. It's usually actually people who are sat there telling you about the great holiday they've just had in Italy. So it's like, oh, so you do have money, you just ain't going to spend any when you're with me. Or, telling me about their fantastic night out that they had with their friends in a swanky bar. But I bet they were buying some drinks there, but it's when they're with muggins, they just expect the man to pay for everything. I'm sorry, it's not a very good sign, and it's not really about the money. It's just what it tells you about their character and what kind of relationship you'd end up having with someone who thinks like that in the modern world, who is a grown-up woman with a job and just expects the man to pay for everything for her. Probably not a good sign, okay? But, on the other hand, I do believe in chivalry, and I will try and pay for most of the stuff most of the time. But if someone never, ever makes even the slightest attempt to pay for anything, it is a red flag, guys. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. I will see you in the next video. Take care. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. And although life may sometimes stink, we can always smell good.